Well, I might not exactly have a whole lot of time for streaming when I'm basically in my final, just over a month left of university here, and everything is suddenly becoming due. And I could take that time to like distribute it relatively evenly across my multiple playthroughs that are going on right now. But I kind of want to play more Unicorn Overlord, I'm gonna be honest. I've actually been having a lot of fun with this game. I really wanted to play it earlier this week and I just couldn't really. I didn't have the time to do a dedicated stream. I did have a little bit of time on the side to just like dick around a little bit here in short sessions to run around the world and collect all the divine fragments, divine shards, whatever the heck I could find. And I got all the way over to here and I discovered some more battles that are like level 40 that the game doesn't really want me to be doing right now. So I'll do those at some point here. So I've done a little bit of adventuring, and it seems like this is as much as I can adventure right now. It looks like I can go right past the main objective completely, considering I took this little windy path here, and the game didn't really care. There was some question mark over here. Was it this one where it went into like an automatic cutscene? So I was like, oh, I guess I'll just reload and not do that right now. But I tricked around and I got enough of the fragments and stuff. It says my traversal is now 25.7%. So like, hey, I'm getting there, I'm doing things. Over a quarter of the way explored the map. And now that I have a whole bunch of these things, I can trade you the amount you need. I said in the previous stream that I thought it was 50 that I had to trade. I know the quest said 30, and I literally during the last stream read off the quest saying 30. But for whatever reason during the demo, I could have sworn that the game told me that it was 50. So I was like, oh, it's 30 to complete the quest, and then like 50 to actually get the recruit at the end. Like maybe there'll be another level of the quest, or I just get these rewards that the game tells me and then the recruit is sometime later. No, it's just 30, and I don't know where I got the initial idea of 50 from, but I have enough now. Exploring around and getting those. Apparently the amount out in the world is finite. You can technically get infinite through like the mining game, but like it's a really rare thing there. So they are very valuable resources that I want to make sure that I'm spending like accordingly. Is that the right word? Spend in such a way that I'm making the most use of them. So don't do it on like random consumable stuff here that I can just get from the shop. And there'll be better weapons than these later. These are some pretty end game weapons that you can get early. I do already have a Templar sword for what's his face, but I still won't mind the stat boosters. So I think, and because I don't have any dues of knowledge as I'm holding 0, I'm gonna do that because that exchanges 2, and then I get more items available. And I've had a little bit of a look through the items here on my own time, and I don't think I'll get any of the Templar stuff. Some things are kind of interesting here. And I decide that, hey, how about I go ahead and get this Cleric's Cane here. Reduces damage taken by a row of allies by 50% for one attack. And it's like, oh, that might be nice to give on my healer there, as opposed to like the ally gets damaged, here's a minor heal. If there's an attack coming in to damage multiple allies, let's just reduce the amount of damage that multiple take, and that'll reduce damage by more than I'd be able to heal otherwise. So I'll take one of those. They both cost 15, both these things, by the way. And the Holy Knight Shield, that gives 7 additional physical defense, 30% guard rate, guard efficiency plus 25%. I don't know what the difference between that and guard rate is, but it's something. And heal 10% HP when using active skill. So whenever I'm using my AP and doing an attack, it'll just heal HP. And it comes built in with Holy Guard if I want to use that with my PP instead. Activates before being hit by a physical attack, block an enemy attack with a medium guard, prevents debuffs. And I thought that sounded pretty good. So after careful consideration, I decided these are the things that I should go for. I appreciate the assistance. More items will be available when next you shop with me. Thank you, Elaine. That seems to be all the divine shards I needed. And here, these are for you. Angel's Request, Carnelian Pendant that increases my AP by 1, Lapis Pendant that increases my PP by 1, and then War Funds, 1,000. There's some more renown. My task complete, and these wings now soar for the liberation alone. Be sure to use them well. There we go, and then there's a new recruit. Feather Sword. Feather Swords can buff themselves and bear a good balance of attack and defense, and they seem to be dodge tanks as well from what I can tell here. And we just have like a generic Dudo here, whoops. Oh, I'm pressing B to like advance the text, but it's hold it to skip. So new items available for exchange, but I don't really have all that much stuff right now to be able to get those. So I don't think that's happening. That's interesting there. Anyway, man, divine shards you happen to come across, or whatever the heck. Anyway, I have something to admit. I'm erasing this timeline, because I actually have continued to play for a little bit, and I wanted that to happen, but I wanted also to be on camera. So here's an hour and a half later. of continuing to go around harvesting a lot of materials. And most of this time, definitely over an hour plus, literally just spent in the menu making my formations and making tactics and stuff. Because I've realized during previous streams that I was a little bit dumb. So if I look at Chloe here, for example, in terms of tactics, I looked at conditions like full column. Long thrust is one that you can attack a column of enemies with a piercing strike, and grants extra potency versus cavalry targets. But I can hit 2 guys at once because it'll hit a column, assuming there is a column. And I tried setting this, yeah, surprise not real, already done this, that's right. It's exactly that. Also, hope things are going well today, Mortis. When it comes to this thingamabob here, though, it says this skill will not activate if there are no applicable targets. So I put this on, and she would literally just sit there twiddling her thumbs and not do anything, because if I was in a battle where there wasn't a full column for her to attack, it wasn't priority on full column, but still attack otherwise. It was only attack of full column. I was like, what? Man, this strategy sucks. What the heck? And then I realized, oh, I can just add another tactic. So your first priority is do long thrust, attacking a full column and prioritizing cavalry if there's like multiple full columns and one is cavalry and the other doesn't. But if that doesn't work, if there is no full column, then just do a long thrust where you prioritize cavalry. And if there's no cavalry, then you just attack anyone. And I just didn't realize this before. And it's still gonna be a while before the uploads catch up to where we're at right now, since I always cut up streams into parts and then I publish them on like a daily schedule. I schedule them up to go up daily. So it's still gonna be like quite a decent amount of days before the YouTube side is caught up to where we are here. All my other series are gonna catch up in no time flat because I don't have the time to make more content on them. But I have no doubt that I'm going to receive comments that tell me, man, you're an idiot. Why didn't you just add additional tactics? Or you can do that with like more different conditions and then just set like different priorities and stuff. So if it can't do the first priority thing, it'll go to the second priority thing. And yeah, so I'm fully anticipating those kinds of comments in the next several days about the end of the last session, because I didn't really realize this before. So I experimented around a lot, and I would also kind of like to go through some builds and stuff that I have here. But yeah, things are average, which means they're fantastic. When nothing happens is when it's good. Okay, so things are comfortable for now, at least. That's good. So yeah, there's Oculus there. So I also realized that it's important for when we get additional skills later. So for example, Elaine here has Lean Edge, and he also has Cavalry Slayer. And they hit for the same amount of damage. It says physical potency down there, 100. It's just that Cavalry Slayer will inflict AP -1, PP -1, and Guard Seal if the target is Cavalry. So it's like, oh, that's really good if they're Cavalry. Otherwise, why wouldn't I just go for Lean Edge and do the same amount of damage and heal myself? So there's cases like this where it's like, oh, priority 1 is use Cavalry Slayer, but only if there's cavalry on the field. Otherwise, do Lean Edge and go for the Dudo that has the lowest HP, because I get additional HP recovery if the target is defeated. So, like, if lowest HP increases the odds of targeting the guy who's gonna die, then it's like, oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, the person takes the boring day over the interesting day. Fair enough there. So that's why I have set up on Elaine. I gave him the Templar stuff because I realized, because he can basically heal himself, because he's got built-in soul that just procs always, unless he's got like Cavalry Slayer and is wrecking cavalry, he's gonna be getting some HP recovery, and his physical defense isn't too half bad. I mean, I am also buffing it up here from 13 to 18 with that, but even with like the 13 in comparison, like Mr. Dudo here, Joseph, is at 15 with the gauntlets that increase it by 1, so he's got 14, whereas Elaine has 13 there before the Templar shield, and it's like, okay, he's actually not half bad tanky. A magic defense 15, he's not gonna get immediately wrecked by a magic attack like Lex is somewhat. So, whoa, promotion by channel, viewers, followers, chatbots, I love chatbots, they're my favorite. Whoa. Anyway, I guess that's a ban. Hold on. It's been a while since I've seen one of those. They used to be a really big thing on Twitch, but in recent years there's been like less and less of them. Yeah, you don't really see them that often anymore. They're a bit of a dying breed. Anyway, so I was like, okay, let's have him do big damage. The more damage he does, the more he heals. Let's have him be tanky so that he can eat more damage and have him in the front. and then the Lapis Pendant for an extra PP so he can use his thingamabobs here more. So there's Luminous Cover, which will activate before an ally's attack, so cover them with a medium guard and grant that ally additional defense. Or if he's being attacked himself, then activate before being attacked by a physical attack, block an enemy attack with a medium guard, grants the user plus 20% defense after doing the guard. A lot of these skills will just guard with a medium guard, or this also grants a defense boon afterwards, and it also grants an additional PP if I have 50% HP or less, meaning if I have less than half HP, this is just gonna keep on proccing. I'm just gonna be able to keep on doing it, assuming it isn't like spent on luminous covers from there. So yeah, I might experiment with switching the priority of these two around and seeing what effect it has, but that's why I wanted to have the Lapis Pendant, so I can cover someone else and then still potentially do this for myself if I'm tanking in the front. So I want to have a lane in the front now, and that's why I figured I'd play into that. So Elaine, our trademark Lord of this game, I mean, it literally says his class as Lord, has definitely a little bit of a comeback mechanic, it seems like. He's a bit of an all-rounder, and he has the comeback mechanic in the form of, if he's less than half HP, he can just keep on guarding and being hard to kill, and he can heal himself. And if he's defeating foes, then he's getting more HP heals. So he's a little bit of a comeback Lord, it seems like. And I'm all for it. I'm definitely all for it here. So yeah, there's that. I also found out how the stats work in this game, like the growths and all that. All-rounder. Oh, interesting. So looking into it, oh, I appreciate the 300 bits there, Yo Krizo. Why is there no, oh, there is an alert. It's just really delayed because Twitch is being weird today and stuff. I appreciate that. How's it going today? Apparently this works not like Fire Emblem, but like Fire Emblem Warriors. So to clarify on that, Fire Emblem Warriors, the stats for each level up were set in stone, was the case. It, so that in a Warriors game where you hit like your max level, you're not going to be completely screwed over by Fire Emblem RNG screwage. Whereas in all the Fire Emblem games, there's just like a percentage chance of each stat going up on level up. Like maybe there's a 50-50 chance that HP goes up on level up. There's a 40% chance of physical attack goes up on level up. 30% chance of physical defense goes up on level up. So on and so forth, stuff like that. Whereas with this, every character has 2 growth types, and those will just affect what their maximum stats are. And I guess the game calculates like what level ups they need to get along the way to have like certain stats at certain levels. So, for example, Lex is a fighter here, and his growth types are hardy and offensive. And if I recruit a random mercenary and give them the growth types of hardy and offensive and bring them to level 8 the same as Lex, they will have the exact same stats, unless I use like some stat booster items. But yeah, I've been watching since FE Lunatic Plus. I appreciate that. Have you seen any of the Unicorn Overlord here? Because it's a little bit of a different strategy game here, and I'm all for it. Because as much as I love Fire Emblem, it's also fun to like try lots of other strategy games here and stuff. And I appreciate the 200 bits there as well. Yeah, I think the other nerd in the stream here, Mortis, was yeah, fellow Lunatic Plus guy. There have definitely been a few people that discovered the channel from me being like one of the few maniacs to actually do like a full playthrough of Lunatic Plus. You never played it? Unicorn Overlord here? But do you know anything about it? It's basically like a Fire Emblem, but real time, and it doesn't use a grid, and everybody has like a squad. So rather than setting out individual units, you set out squads that you make, that you try to form tactically, and it's kind of interesting. But yeah, so any of the, don't know much about it? Okay. You might find it interesting here. A bit of a different strategy game here. So yeah, if I get a random mercenary recruit like I did with this Griffin Knight here, then any other Griffin Knights that have offensive and lucky and get to level 3 will have the exact same stats. So that's kind of interesting, and means I don't have to worry about RNG screwage. And it also means that you can kind of build characters however you want without RNG screwage. And apparently there's an item that you can get later on where you can change the growth types. So I could change Elaine's growth types here to something else if I want, and it'll change all of his stats immediately to what it would be like from level 1 to that level with those growth types. I think that's actually kind of cool. But yeah, kind of have to go back. Just wanted to give some bits. Well, I greatly appreciate that there, you Chris. I hope you have an awesome rest of the day. Do appreciate you stopping and I appreciate the bits there. But yeah, so that's something interesting about how the level ups of this game work. So from that perspective, I probably shouldn't get as pissed off as I do about getting like a +1 because it's fate has decided it by my my growth types. So yeah, I think no more complaining about level ups. I mean, it'll still suck sometimes, but yeah. So there should be like a perfectly even distribution of crappy level ups and good level ups. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. It'll come back tomorrow. I might not be streaming tomorrow. I'm in my final semester of university here, and things are getting crazy. My stream time's all over the place. After I graduate in April, I hope I'll have more time from May onward. But we shall see here. We shall see how it ends up going. So yeah, I've learned a decent bit about this here video game. Lex, I've decided to play into being someone kind of towards the front as well. I gave him that Holy Knight shield that I got from Atlus. I gave him my Baroque sword, and then here's just some more defensive stuff. He has an attack that will attack a single enemy and then grant him additional defense. So I was like, well, I could give him the Viper Fang sword and then have him in the back, and then he poisons foes. Or I can have him play into the fact that he gets more defense from his regular thing and then just kind of have him in the front and he plays off of that. So the thing that he himself comes with is Arrow Cover, activates before an ally is hit by a ranged physical attack, cover an ally and nullify all damage, but that's not always going to be the case every battle. It's not like every foe is going to have like a bow or whatever. So I was like, okay, how about I give him the Holy Knight shield, where he comes built in now with Holy Guard because of that shield. Activates before being hit by a physical attack, block an enemy attack with a medium guard, prevents debuffs, while playing into him getting more defenses, and it's like, okay, he shouldn't be too half-bad tanky now, right? Also, his physical defense is 20, while Yosef's, like, he doesn't have as good equipment, but he's also level 20 promoted, so, like, his physical defense 15, and Lex's here is 20, it's like, okay, I'm gonna try to make Lex a little bit better here. That's what I'm trying to do. So, yeah, Yosef, I've basically just given him, like, some random crap that he could have that I wasn't giving to anyone else. This will play into him being a little bit tanky. His first priority is going to be healing over slicing. So, I mainly have him in one of my squads as healing duty. I have, like, a healer in each of my main squads, and he's in my Lex squad currently on healing duty. Otherwise, work on doing slicing, target the one with the lowest HP because I get an additional PP if the target is defeated, and prioritize infantry because I get extra damage against infantry. Effective versus infantry-based foes such as housecarls, 2 times physical damage versus infantry. So yeah, prioritize them and try to kill them. Go for the lowest HP ones, because then I just get more PP. Because I can reduce damage taken by an ally by 50% for one attack. I can block an enemy attack with a medium guard, or a follow-up attack after allies as well. And it's like, okay, that's pretty good here. I did indeed. How's it going, Sage? Wait, I almost said Sages, because I'm pretty sure that used to be Sage's Master, but is that a name change? And now it's Sage Master? Or am I going crazy here? Chloe here, I went through her tactics before where I realized how to fix this. First aid is lowest percent HP as opposed to lowest HP, because sometimes there will be someone that has, let's say, 36 HP like she has, and Yosef that, let's say he has 45 out of 54. She'll still heal herself even though she's maxed because she had the lowest HP. So I've switched that to lowest percent HP because, yeah, I needed to fix that. Yes, the name change. Okay, gotcha. Well, I guess I'll say Sage then in that case. Hodrick, I wanted to play into making him tanky as well. I got him an Unwavering Spear from the shop, which allows him to attack a column. So, because his Sting, the only bonus thing that does is, like, here's extra damage if the user's below 50% HP. And I'm gonna try to have his HP high, generally. So, I was like, yeah, let's just give him something else for now. So his first priority is going to be True Thrust, where he'll attack a full column, if he can. It does less physical potency than Sting, but if he's attacking 2 targets at once, that's more damage. But if there isn't a full column, just do Sting and try to kill someone if you can. The game's really fun. I'm quite enjoying it, and I'm starting to learn it. The permadeath, it does not, thankfully. And then heavy cover here, protect the ally with a heavy guard, and then you'll prioritize the back row there. You use the Azure Crust Great Shield because you're the only one in my army that can use a Great Shield, so I may as well give you my best one here for here's a whole bunch of guard efficiency and an extra PP so he can do heavy cover more. And then here's just healing himself when he attacks, because why not on my tank here. Clive here, he'll do his Wild Rush, attack a column if there is a full column, otherwise do his Assaulting Lance. Try to attack low HP infantry if he can. Prioritize infantry. If there's an infantry, he'll attack them, and then go for the one with the lowest HP. Because if he kills, he gets another AP, and he can just do it again, and then like keep on doing that. And he has access to Quick Guard. Here's to block an enemy attack with a medium guard, so he can be in the front if he wants. And I believe he's the more defensive Cavalier, if I have a look-see here. His stats, yeah, he's precise and defensive, whereas the other cavalry unit that I have here is offensive and go-getter. Don't know what go-getter means. I have a good idea what offensive means. So yeah, you're the better one to have in the front and eating some hits because you're the defensive cavalier, and you're the better one to have in the back and be primarily dealing damage rather than eating hits. So yeah, that's what's going on there. Give him the Baroque shield because he's gonna be the cavalier in front, so may as well be more defensive and stuff. And here's a little bit of more defensive stuff. If I didn't have any better weapons, I just bought recruit stuff from shops and gave them to people. I honestly just gave this for damage. There was not anybody in my party that used swords that I wanted to replace their action thingamabobs that they already had with poison slash instead. So this is here because of the Viper Fang, but I took it off. Only way I could really see myself using it right now is if I gave it to Lex if he was in the back. But by being in the front here, I'd rather use this, I think, and have him last a little bit better. If I ever switch him to a squad in the back, I can give him that. Otherwise, this is just like a sword that's better than default, even though I'm not using poison slash. Here's more crit rate, here's more evasion, here's more evasion. So there's poison slash that I just don't have on. I'll prioritize doing passive steal to steal all of an enemy's PP. Otherwise, do toxic throw and inflict poison. And then, of course, the evading that he'll get a whole bunch of PP from with passive steal. I realized when I unlocked toxic throw, it became the highest priority thing. I'd rather passive steal be the highest priority thing so he can steal the PP so that he can evade a whole bunch of things a lot more by getting those that away. So there's that. Albin, he has the crushing axe right now, which will inflict stun, and then he won't be able to do things with that thingamabob there. Here's some more HP, here's some more defenses. He could inflict physical defense -20, but like, it depends on what squad I put him in. If I put him in one where his initiative is a bit higher than my other allies, or I give him things to raise his initiative, then if he inflicts physical defense -20, then that might be somewhat good at the beginning. But if he's attacking after a lot of my allies anyway, it's like, what's really much of the point here? So I just have him stun whoever has the highest HP, and therefore I'm going to be dealing with, like, the most. I wonder if I should actually change this to, just, like, most AP. Prioritize combatants with the most AP. I think I should actually do that. So it's, like, stun the person who is yet to act the most. So, someone that's about to put, like, a whole bunch of damage onto me, just do that. Most AP. I wonder how it would do it with, this here. With both of those. I don't know. Like, if they're tied for HP, maybe it does this condition first, then it does... I don't know. And then there's just, like, parting blow. Try to kill some guy that might be left if you can. Because why not there? Rolf here is my current only archer. Flame arrow is literally just single shot, but inflicting burn. So I have no reason not really to give him the flame bow right now and let him keep on inflicting fire damage there. Here's a little bit better crit rate. Here's some more physical attack damage. Do flame arrows, and then there's the guaranteed hit that he has for being an archer and all that. Our gladiator here is currently using the Rose Knight axe, and a little bit extra defensive stuff. I could go to the shops and buy some more thingamabobs. I have this for like fire cure, but I mean like, I give it an extra magic defense. Screw it, no one else is using it, but I'm changing the priority here. First priority is bulk up. Otherwise, like, do that if you don't have to bulk up and you need to remove burn from an ally, I guess. Wide Smash will hit an entire row and really hard, and it'll do more damage if I'm at 100% HP. So rather than having him in the front and just gambling on this bringing me back to full, where I'll recover 40 after eating and hit, sometimes I'll receive more than 40% of HP after a hit. This isn't necessarily going to keep me at full. I think I currently have him set to the back of one of my squads to keep him usually at full HP and just try to get a lot of damage off of Wide Smash and prioritize the row with the most combatants. So either the front or the back. Whichever one has more Dudos that he can hit and deal damage to. Didn't really do anything with Floor as like my random mercenary unit. Again, we're going to prioritize like the actual unique units over the mercenaries. Looking it up, the different types of units I get, it does seem like the game does expect me to recruit mercenaries if I do want to get, like, another healer anytime soon, or, like, certain squads, or another archer, or something like that. So I might just cave and start using a whole bunch of mercenaries one of these days. But yeah, on to the next one here. There's Sharon that I gave the Cleric's Cane that I redeemed with my thingamabobs there. That will give her an extra PP which is really nice as well, and reduce damage taken by a row of allies. So her AP will be heal. Only do that if they don't have full health, and prioritize the one with the lowest percent HP. And as for her 2 PP here, my first priority is going to be protection, because if she can do that with a row with 2 or more combatants, that is probably going to prevent me receiving more damage than quick heal is going to heal. Restore minor HP to an ally, and that's like half of what heal here does, considering the magic potency is halved. And quick heal isn't half bad. Heal is just better. Protection will probably be better here if I'm protecting a full row. Part of me also wonders if I took off this condition and you just use protection over quick heal in general, if it would still be better, if reducing damage taken by 50% would still be more than quick heal can heal. It might be worth some experimentation, but right now I have it set to only do that if like a row with 2 or more combatants is being targeted at once. But yeah, that might not be a bad idea to... I'm actually gonna remove it for now. We have Yana here that's currently using the Thingamabob that is gonna just be good for now. Here's some more magic attack. Here's a little bit of better defenses just because I had like stuff to give out. So you have that. Ice Bolt, you are going to prioritize armored Dudos because that's what you're going to do the most damage to, and just like the highest HP Dudo there, considering, or maybe I should just set that to the highest AP as well, for like the one that, because freezing them is going to make it so they can't act, so just make it so they can't use those. It's probably a good idea. And then yeah, the magic unfurl, where it's just like, hey, here's some magic damage to someone that's doing a physical attack. Whoops, not mean to do that there. There's Morden that I don't really have a whole lot of stuff on. You can really clearly see the characters that I really decked out and some characters that kind of came after here. Heavy Smash, attack a single enemy, ignore 100% defense for his armored target, so of course prioritize armored there, and can inflict guard seal. I think I just have you kind of slapped into a squad for the sake of doing some damage here. Baroness, here's some more physical attack. I gave the Cornelian pendant that I got from completing that one quest to get an additional AP to you. So there's 2 AP now, so that you can use heavy slash, because I've realized that thing hits really hard. I mean, physical potency 150, that's pretty nice. And then soon you're going to get killing chain, which is going to grant an additional AP if the target is defeated. So by having like that extra AP to play with, like once I level up once and get that that other skill there, then I can have it be that like if someone's at low HP, then use the killing chain and just keep on going. Otherwise, if no one's at low HP, then just use heavy slash and do like a big amount of damage, and that sounds really good there. And there's also following slash here. Activates after an ally is hit by an attack, counter attack a single enemy, grants the user +1 PP if the attack hits. So that means if I'm in a squad where an ally keeps on getting hit, this'll keep on activating until I miss it. It's 90%. And if this works by like Fire Emblem RNG, that means it's basically 50-50, whether that hits or not. But in theory, it could just keep on getting chained, and I could just keep on getting damage off of that. So I currently have her in the squad with Hodrick here, where he's just going to be eating a whole bunch of damage and not caring. And every time he does, she's going to smackaroo some poor soul. So I realized that that would probably be pretty strong there. So yeah, I have those 2 together here. Adel, he doesn't have as good defensive stuff because he's focusing more on offensive things. And because he's focusing on offensive things, I've given him Warcry here to grant the user +20% physical attack. Because I figure he's probably not going to be using Quick Guard all that much if I'm going to have him in the back, since he's my more offensive Cavalier rather than defensive Cavalier. I have Clive for my defensive Cavalier. So I'll give my offensive one additional physical attack at the beginning of battle, and that's how he'll use his PP. And Assaulting Lance, attack a single enemy, prioritize low HP and infantry, so you can hopefully get those kills and then keep on racking up that HP. So that's what's going on here. Oh, this is where things are a little bit interesting. Here's some more magic attack, here's some more PP. I don't remember where I got this from, but this grants Fire Burst. Activates at the end of battle, attack a single enemy with magic. Hits all enemies if the target is burning. And his thing that he already has here is Fireball. So his PP thing that he has by default is Magic Counter, activates after an enemy attacks with an active skill, counter attack a single enemy with magic. I could have that on and just have it be used once. I do have 2 PP, so I will for sure activate this at the end. I currently have it set so that he'll just use this twice at the end of battle. So yeah, Fire Burst, activated at the end of battle, attack a single enemy with magic, hits all enemies if target is burning. So I have prioritized armored here because that's who it'll do the most damage to, but I also prioritize the highest HP in general, because the one with the highest HP is the one that's most likely to be surviving for a decent while. Like, I don't want this fireball to kill. There's a good chance that it might just not. It's 40 magic potency, but it does hit 3 times, so I guess 120 total. But I want this to not kill. So when Fire Burst activates at the end, like, first it'll try to find someone that's burning. If it can't, then just do Fire Burst against somebody. Because if the target is burning, it'll just hit everybody. So it's like, okay, that sounds kinda nice there. So try to attack somebody that has a lot of HP and will hopefully survive until the end of battle, so that they can hopefully not survive at the end of battle, and make it so that their friends don't survive at the end of battle either. And to further that along, I found in one of the shops as I was going around this item called Familiar's Choker that grants access to the PP skill Sorceress Connection. Activates before an ally uses a magic attack. Grants an ally plus 50% magic attack. Grants the user minus 50% magic attack. But you don't use magic attack. You debuff foes. Inflicts PP -1 and initiative -10 on a row of enemies. So prioritize the row with the most combatants to debuff them. And your other thing is Quick Curse. Activates before an enemy uses an attack skill and inflicts attack -20% for the single enemy's next attack. Inflicts critical seal. So I could do that, or I could make it so an ally gets plus 50% magic attack. And I was wondering, does that just affect the initial fireball, or will it affect the fire burst at the end as well? And I tested it, and like just the little grindy map, and it seems like, yeah, that just straight up is plus 50% magic attack for that entire battle. I like would have figured that it would have said for just that one singular attack if that was the case, but I wanted to double check and make sure, and yeah, that is indeed the case. So having these two together in the back, it's like, well, time to die. And here's debuffing them a little bit sooner, and then here's a recruit staff that you have for now. So these two together should now be wrecking things, is the hope. Oculus, I've mostly left her with her starting things, because she's an evasion tank. Her thingamabobs are a spiral sword that she'll attack with. Also, she has 2 AP and 2 PP, I guess, like already promoted class. Attack a single enemy, inflicts evasion -20, and grants the user plus 20 evasion, so there's more evasion for landing these hits. And accelerate, it activates after an enemy attacks with an active skill. Grants the user plus 20 initiative and 30 accuracy, and that'll just keep on going there. So here's more accuracy and evasion. I'll take more evasion. I'll definitely get that. Here's some more guard efficiency, more accuracy, more evasion. I'll just leave her with her starting things. That sounds good to me. Here's even more evasion. And then just here's more physical attack. Because unlike most of my allies, you can actually hit twice, is the case with that 2 AP. So I figured it's probably pretty well spent on you to have you hit harder twice as opposed to hit harder once. So that's my current builds that I have on these various different characters here. In terms of my formations that I have right now, I have this squad here with Elaine, who is going to hopefully mostly be healing himself. And Clive, who's going to hopefully not be taking too much damage as he'll be guarding, and Elaine will also be guarding him sometimes. So, like, I haven't really tested these builds, so I mean, we'll see as I experiment with them this stream to see how it goes. And we'll see if, like, the little smidges that Chloe heals that should only be needed for Clive, and maybe us in the back sometimes, will be good enough. We shall see. Hello, GMK. How's it going today? And then, yeah, here's just being able to hit harder, which might, if that activates for Elaine, which I believe it will, considering the initiative here. Initiative 20, initiative 18. Yeah, so Elaine is going to be the one going first. And Magic Conferral is going to activate before an ally's physical attack, which means that's always going to activate for Elaine, which means his Cavalry Slayer is either going to do, like, big damage because it gets extra magic damage, or Lean Edge for even more damage. And it's like, well, there's more heals. I don't think that he's going to worry about his health getting too low when he's dealing big damage and healing that back up again. We have Quick Guard here, so he shouldn't take too much damage, and Elaine will help to cover him. And then here's, like, some heals to help stay topped up. So we'll see how that goes here. This squad here, I have Yosef and Lex in the front to be eating some hits, and then Yosef just be doing a bunch of heals. So they're mostly on defensive duty, just eat hits and not die and protect the back there. And these two are on wrecking the opponents with fire. Is kind of what's going on there. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see how that goes. This squad here, I have my dodge tank here in the front. I am keeping Bruno to the back now to try and try and keep his health up. I can potentially reposition him to the front in battle if ever I need. You're not always going to dodge everything. I have my, I do feel like my staff healer might be better somewhere else, potentially, because it's like, if my dodge tank's in the front, how much damage am I really going to be eating? But it's like, do any of these squads really need a better healer, per se? Oh yeah, and I got another one of these squads to 4 units big, after saving up some renown and stuff. So, I now have 3 squads that I can deploy 4 in. Like, maybe I could give a healer to this one later or something. I mean, I'm just kind of hope that you two don't take too much damage in the back there. And he's going to heal himself as he attacks, and while he's not going to eat all that much. And anytime he eats damage, he's going to be punishing foes. So that's pretty good there. And I needed to slap Rolf somewhere, so it's like, hey, let's do this for a little bit more coverage with this squad that we have here. And the ability to do range assists. But yeah, this squad here is just like, hey, here's damage, here's healing, here's dodge tank and damage, and we'll see how that goes. And I have you as the leader so that you can actually get around to places. I wanted to focus on damage in this squad because as my flying squad, if you don't count Flora's unit there, you're basically on assassination duty whenever there's like a really troublesome tower in the middle of bumblefuck nowhere that I need you to get out there and take down. Okie doke, enjoy the lurk there, GMK, enjoy the 10-minute timeout that you just redeemed there. So, yeah, that's why I have attacking Cavalier and attacking Bruno. And healer because you're probably not going to be able to reliably get to Garrison to be able to heal up if you really need to. So this is the assassin squad of get out there and take out the dudos that are giving me trouble with their assists all the time is what's going on there. This squad is just like, hey, let's eat not all that much damage, assuming that there isn't a flyer, and hopefully not too much in the way of poison or burn effects or anything like that, because he'll heal himself as he dishes damage back out. Anytime he eats a hit and barely cares about it, she'll be retaliating while also doing big damage. And then here's just some more coverage because I needed to slap Rolf somewhere, and like I had specific plans for these other squads here was the case. And then this was basically like my kind of overflow group here. I was really surprised that Travis made it into my overflow group, just because like he is one of my best guys at the front, but at the same time my fronts were already covered. I could slap him into here, but then it's like, do I even really need a Healy unit here at all? I mean, I'll see how I feel about Clive here. Maybe swap out for Travis. So there's not really a strategy here. It's just my overflow units, and then like there's my mercenary there, and then yeah, the things that I don't have unlocked yet. So yeah, that's basically what's going on here. I could recruit some more mercenaries and make this squad in like a more dedicated kind of way, or make a dedicated squad here in one specific way. And I do have those EXP up items that I could feed to them to like get them closer to my other units levels. But I think even with these 4 squads and then emergency like 5th squad, I'm probably gonna be good. I don't know. Also, I went around and collected materials, so I can do this now. Looks like you got the materials we need, Elaine. What do you say? Let's repair the bridge, because I haven't been over here yet, and I want to see what the heck is going on here. Also, I'm thirsty. Wow, I didn't realize how thirsty I was until right in that moment. Nothing like fixing up a wounded friend. You did good, kid.